Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of CIOtv. I'm Jennifer Hopper, Chief Strategy Officer for AuditMax, and I am joined by Mark Cusack in Cary, North Carolina today with Yellowbrick. How are you?
I'm very well, Jennifer. Very pleased to be here.
Thanks for joining us. I don't know a whole lot about Yellowbrick. Can you give us a kind of an overview of the company for us?
Absolutely. Yes. Well, Yellowbrick is a software company, and we're a global business based in Mountain View, California. We were founded in 2014. Now, Yellowbrick has the mission of bringing together data that's distributed across the enterprise, whether it's on the cloud, on premises in your own data center, or even at the network edge, and allow it to be queried by SQL. And SQL is one of the most popular query languages for analytics out there. And so to do all of this, we created the Yellowbrick Data Warehouse. It's a database for analytics. It's massively parallel in the way it scales out. It's elastic. And as I said, it kind of runs on SQL, which everybody in the analytics community knows.
Wow, that's amazing. So what is your target audience for your services, for your software?
Yeah, we sell our software services to the biggest enterprises on the planet, companies that are household names. And I don't know if many of your viewers know what a data warehouse is, but essentially it typically stores a company's crown jewels in terms of data. It's typically storing their supply chain information, their sales information. It could be used for fraud analytics purposes, but it really is the most important data in the company. And it's used to derive analytics and business answers across a whole range of different business domains.
So I'm guessing a lot of our conversations end up on the cybersecurity side and just the security aspect. I'm guessing there's a significant amount of security involved as well when you're talking about all of the very proprietary information that they would not want anyone to get a hold of.
Absolutely. I mean, data warehouses are often used to store personal information, very, very sensitive information, confidential information that really can't afford to get out. And so security around data warehouses is incredibly important. And that's something that we put a lot of thought to in at Yellowbrick. And our customers are themselves offering services based on Yellowbrick to their end users in the fraud analytics space for financial reporting purposes, for processing insurance claims and so on and so forth. And very, very sensitive detailed information that we're dealing with at massive scales as well, into the petabytes level.
Right, especially when you're dealing with the largest enterprise. How does the data warehouse, how does that relate to a data center? What's the difference? How would you classify the two of those?
Yeah, well, a data warehouse is a piece of technology that actually lives within a data center somewhere. Now, in the past, those data centers have belonged within an enterprise, in an enterprise's own on-premises environment. But increasingly, the data center is a public cloud data center owned by AWS or Google Cloud or Azure, for example. And so that's where we sit. We sit in a virtual sense, our software living in the public cloud, allowing our customers to access that software to power their enterprise data warehouse needs.
Wow, that's very, very impressive. And since you were just founded in 2014, I'm thinking that's probably something that has come into the picture in the last 10 years, especially with security and cyber. And as more, and we see it in our business too, enterprises are moving to data centers and moving to the cloud for redundancy and security reasons.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But, one of the overriding drivers for the move for companies to the cloud is around the agility that cloud provides and the ability to spin up new business use cases, test them out, fail, try again until you succeed. And that kind of rapid pace of development is really pushing the phenomenal move to the cloud at the moment. And one of the other really important elements that is impacting the data warehouse world today is the drive towards more real-time analytics. How can I get business insights faster than my competitors can? And so we're being driven as a vendor in the data warehousing space to make sure our analytics are the fastest at the most cost-effective price point and get those answers into the hands of business decision makers sooner than anyone else.
Everyone wants things faster, cheaper, quicker, better, and wants it right now. One last question before I wrap up. How did you get into in this line of business? I'm sure you obviously had a IT background, but how did you end up in the software and with Yellowbrick?
Well, I ended up as the chief technology officer at Yellowbrick after a number of years in the data warehousing space. And so I've been with Yellowbrick for the past 2 years. Before that, I was an executive at Teradata, which is one of the most established, oldest data warehousing companies anywhere. They really basically invented the notion of data warehousing about 40 years ago. So I was there for 5 years in various roles, including a chief architect role there. And I came by Teradata by way of an acquisition they made of a startup that I was one of the co-founders of in 2015 or so. But rewinding, I've been in the analytics space for probably the last 20 years. And I started off in technology, like many people going through college. I ended up doing a PhD, which was very, very strongly aligned to analytics and large-scale high-performance computing, and then just moved into kind of government work in the same space, and then finally into startup world and elsewhere.
Well, that's wonderful. Glad to have you there. We definitely need all the security and the analytics right now, especially large enterprises trying to compete against each other. Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it, and I know our listeners will enjoy this conversation. I hopefully will get an opportunity to have you back on the show again and learn more about Yellowbrick.
My pleasure. Thanks very much, Jennifer.
Thank you. And thank you. It was a great episode of CIOtv, and that's a wrap. We'll see you next time.